Name one black character who survived a horror movie.
A group of friends go away for the weekend, only to find themselves trapped in a cabin by a revengeful killer. Sound familiar, right? The group are compelled to play a board game where not knowing the right answer could be fatal. Throughout this video, I'll add some of the questions from the board game on screen so you can test your knowledge at home.
Name 8 Tyler Perry Madea movies.
The Blackening is directed by Tim Story. If you aren't familiar with Tim Story, he also directed Ride Along and Barbershop. I'll be honest, I prejudged this film thinking it was going to be another horror parody similar to Scary Movie 1 and 2 by the Wayans brothers.
Name 2 white cast members from In Living Color.
Who would have thought a movie made to poke fun at horror movies would turn out actually better than those horror movies? Well, at least most of them. I would say 2023 has been a trash year for horror films in general. But I was pleasantly surprised by watching The Blackening. If I can compare it to any other movie, it would definitely be The Cabin in the Woods. It actually felt like a real slasher flick. You know, they even give you that classic opening where the killer pursues and claims his first victims.
Name 15 black inventions.
Whoever did the casting for this film did an outstanding job. I was very familiar with a lot of the actors and actresses, primarily Jermaine Fowler, who plays Clifton, and of course, Melvin Greggs. If you're familiar with Snowfall, you know he played Man Boy. So as I'm watching the film, I couldn't help but see Man Boy on screen. But he still did a good job playing this character. You know, the chemistry was on point with the crew. You know, I could tell they was really enjoying themselves playing their roles. You know, this wasn't your stereotypical cast. You didn't have the dumb jock. You didn't have the final virgin girl, etc., etc. The writers actually attempted to make each character unique in their own way. I was just glad to see characters for once in a while make smart decisions. And one of the scenes that I found funny was the group actually had a debate on whether or not to split up or stay together. Now, we all know in horror movies, it always happens. Someone always suggests that we should split up. Or they should split up, I should say. The director, Tim Story, did his thing with directing, despite having a small budget. I think they had a budget of $5 million, I think. And the film actually grossed about $17 million in the box office, I believe. I could tell the writers took ideas from other movies, but they still managed to create their own special theme with The Blackening. So let's talk about the good. The film definitely has its funny moments, but the writers doesn't try to overdo the jokes. Some hit, some miss. But for the most part, I found the movie pretty entertaining. As I stated before, they definitely didn't go wrong with the casting choices. I think the group of individuals they had actually worked well together. I read somewhere that they even improvised most of the scenes they were in, which is, you know, incredible. You know, I personally wouldn't consider this a horror parody, and I'm going to tell you why. They actually did a good job at creating suspense. Like, it was some scenes that I was actually on edge. One of the most important things that every scary movie needs is a good villain. In The Blackening, they actually created one that's pretty decent. It's the blackface killer, and his weapon of choice is the crossbow. Moving on to some of the bad about this film, and honestly, I don't have that much to critique at all. But I did notice that there was a lack of the horror tropes. I think the film actually missed their mark because they forgot to include some of the most popular horror tropes that we see all the time. So I felt like if they would have included those, they could have created, funnier moments in certain scenes. I do understand that the list is damn near endless with horror tropes. So I guess you have to pick and choose which one would be better befitting for the movie. The critics have spoken, and I must say I agree with them in their analysis of The Blackening. It's actually a pretty solid flick. I was under the impression, like I say, it was going to be another horror parody. But it wasn't. Like I say, it had its own theme going on. So I actually had a good time, good movie experience with The Blackening. Like I said, the movie is definitely funny. You have your suspenseful moment as well. So I would recommend checking out The Blackening. Here's my final grade from this film. Thanks for tuning in to Sam Haines School of Horror. But before I go, I'm going to leave you with one more question to answer. Hope you enjoy. Class dismissed.
Is mac and cheese a side dish or a main?